Many of the requirements in Part 4 about elevators with non-traditional driving machines have been completely reworked, and most of the changes are about rack-and-pinion elevators. Codes are relocated, renumbered, scrapped, and updated to be in sync with other parts. The requirements also got stricter and more specific. If we were to summarize the changes, we'd highlight the fact that several new codes at the beginning of the section forced a renumbering of later requirements. New requirements exist for accessible space under the hoistway of a rack-and-pinion elevator where a hoistway does not extend to the lowest floor of the building or structure. Because machine rooms don't apply to rack-and-pinion elevators, certain requirements were amended to instead talk about control spaces, machinery spaces, and control rooms. This also required new codes to be added that do apply to this type of elevator. For instance, where the building code requires fire-resistive construction, control rooms must be separated from the remainder of the building. Also, there must be an emergency exit at the top of the car and a way to ascend or descend safely between the floor of the elevator and the car top. These spaces must have permanent lighting for maintenance and inspection. Speed governors are granted their own specific code and requirements. There are also several marking or identification plates, which must now be attached to show key information about the rack-and-pinion elevator and its equipment. Another change is that buffers and bumpers are now contained in the same subsection together. And rack-and-pinion type drives have several new requirements that must be followed, like the strict prohibition on gears being made of cast iron. The last thing to note is that references to refuge spaces were removed and replaced with codes about clearances. Thanks for exploring the changes to Part 4 with us.